Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Satisfactory on Story Theory. It's been a really long time. I have worked on this build by myself for for an ever. Um, so of course, I'm assuming that everybody has watched all the news about the 1.0 release and when it's coming out, and I'm super excited for it. Honestly, I'm getting an entire lizard doggo pioneer tattoo here on probably my shoulder or my back or something. And I mean, for my favorite game, I couldn't think of a better tattoo to get. And I I love this save that I have, the update 8 Ficsmas save, because I've never actually done Ficsmas for the entirety of it, getting the stars and finishing out the tree and everything like that, the research tree. And so coming back to Satisfactory and getting to the point that I made this TurboFuel Factory build, and I've learned a crap ton from it. I've definitely learned that number one, first and foremost, it has to be bigger. It has to be bigger. I have to get the center circle area bigger. Everything does fit, don't get me wrong. Everything fits in the center glass onion build. However, getting the tubes or the pipes to go up there and actually pump everything up there, pump it up consistently, because like we're going from all the way over here, all the way over there, back there, way over and up there. I mean, it's too much. It's too much. And this is something I've learned from this build that I already knew before this, and everybody that plays this game for the most part knows it, is like, don't use Mark II pipes. Just don't do it. Or if you're going to use Mark II pipes, don't try and fill them to 600 volume, because it just doesn't work. So I think next time, I have a lot of different stuff I want to try. I'm going to do this build again. Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% going to do this again. I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do it bigger, and I'm going to do it more efficient. So I am going to take you guys into the build. I have been absolutely racking my brain trying to get this thing going. Number one, I also realized that drones coming in for the sulfur is going to be tough, because a drone can only carry 900 sulfur per trip. And each trip, according to the actual nodes that I have right now, which of course are going to be changed in 1.0, I'm sure everybody's heard, those nodes are so far away, it takes about 4 minutes for them to get back here, and only dropping off 900. So if I do that math, if I'm doing 1200 per minute out of the miner, I can only transport 900 at a time, and it's a 4-minute round trip back and forth. That means in that 4 minutes, I basically have 4,800 sulfur coming out of that miner, and only 900 of it's being carried away. So I need to figure that out, and that's why I think my build needs to be bigger, better, stronger. It needs to be, number one, especially right here, this interior section, having it be a 3x3, terrible idea. It needs to be way bigger than that. I'm thinking at least a 4x4 or a 5x5 would even be better. And then the overall structure of the build, it needs to be further out than 11 foundations, which would be 44 meters from the center. I think I need to work on that and trying to figure out how to basically get a circular foundation to go out further than 44 meters, and working out the angles and trying to get that right. Obviously, it's going to involve beams, some pillars, and all kinds of other stuff. So anyways, the top floor of the build is actually a buffer floor. So this is where all of these are coming up, all these tubes. Most of these are 600, and they're going into what's called a flow compensator. So each one of these flow compensators is from the Satisfactory pipes guideline book. There's a PDF. It's on Reddit all the time. Really, really well done. Whoever put it together, and I'll probably link it in the description here. Whoever put that together did a fantastic job on getting the physics right, figuring out what works best, and making sure things flow correctly. My problem in this is that I'm using a bunch of Mark II pipes all jacked up to 600 volume, and I think we're using milliliters here. I mean, that makes sense because meters cubed. So getting everything to 600 and up here is a terrible idea. If you want to use Mark II pipes, go ahead and do it, but make sure you're only filling them to like 300 or 450 or something like that. So next time doing this, I need to make sure that the math is going to work out, and I only fill these bad boys to 300 or so, because the problem with this build, let me step out of the elevator so the music is a little bit lower. So the problem with the, actually, I'm going to turn down the audio just slightly for the music. I don't really feel like that did much. There we go. So the problem with this build is that the oil takes so long to get here. So the oil flowing from all of the nodes takes so long to get to the actual main factory that the lines are completely depleted by the time it gets here. So one way to compensate for that would be to have a bunch of industrial buffers all in parallel. You don't want to have those in series. So what I mean by that is parallel. You have 1, 2, 3. They're all connected up separately, and then off of those, you have them come back together in a junction and come into one. Series would be 1, 2, 3, and they're all connected, to each other. So the series has an issue, and this is all in the pipes PDF as well. There's a lot of sloshing going on with that in the industrial buffers. Parallel really does kind of stop that. And the compensators here also stop that to a degree. It helps reduce that sloshing effect and actually equalize the flow coming out. Still, the issue is that, number one, I made this build way too small, and I don't have enough room in here to put as many industrial buffers as I need. I think for each one of these, excuse me, each one of these nodes coming up needs its own industrial buffer. And I think that's what I'm going to basically include in my next build, my next miner build, with the oil refinery. What we're going to do is oil extractor, what we're going to do is actually include the oil extractor, include a industrial buffer right against it pretty much, and then we're going to, after that industrial buffer, flow that down, flow it up here, and go into maybe a parallel circuit, so that way I would have 3 buffers full of oil and then a compensator after that to equalize that flow, and I think that would really help. And I didn't say this at the beginning. The reason why I have been so absent from YouTube is because, number one, my girlfriend and I did a crap ton of landscaping to our house, literally 3 months worth of back breaking, bone breaking, spirit breaking landscaping. And also, on top of that, Xena and Apollo have had their second litter of puppies, and they are... I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but they're going nuts in the living room right now. It's puppy fight club in there, I swear. So that's also why we've been absent. Of course, the puppies take precedent over everything. So they needed us, and we wanted to be there and make sure that we had everything going and everything worked well. So anyways, this is the refinery floor. You can tell that everything is actually working pretty well. Like, there are these little blips in here that, like, this one's at 54% because it's not getting rid of the heavy oil residue as quickly as it should be. And this is where, instead of it basically coming out and coming up like this, I think next time I'm going to have each one of them go down. and then everything needs to be load balanced next time. This time, I have literally rebuilt this entire structure 4 times now, trying to make sure everything is like load balanced and works correctly. From now on, I am going to split things up a lot more, um, I guess, liberally, because trying to get, like, right here, I don't even know how many of these are going around. This one's coming down into here. It's going around into this one. This one's also coming off and going down. It just does not work well. So I'm going to try and say, hey, all right, this one is giving out 100 per minute, and this takes 100 per minute. This one should just go boom, boom, right in there. There should be no merging, there should be no junctions, nothing. It should just be a 1-for-1, and I know that will work better. So this area in itself is troubling. Of course, I am going to wait after all of the mods are updated for the 1.0 release, which shouldn't be that long because number one, I'm not using a ton of mods, and number two, the mods I am using are crazy popular, so I'm sure those guys are going to be busy getting stuff done. So this is the second floor where all the polymer, resin, and water come up to make plastic. We're making some rubber, we're making some fabric. All of this is going to be exported and taken off by drone to the main storage facility. This is my diluted fuel facility, so this one's kind of tricky. I think I'm going to do this a little bit differently as well next time. I think I'm just going to basically set up one water extractor per blender instead of being like, oh, I can jack up a water extractor to 300, and then this one only needs 250, and then using valves to split things off. It doesn't work well. So next time, also, instead of having all the water extractors basically come off of one of the arms, I guess, to my glass onion octopus, I'm actually just going to put them on the bottom floor and have all those tubes go up. So each one of these blenders is going to have its own water source, and then we'll also deal with all of these, sorry, that one's underclocked. So these ones all only need 50. I'm going to work on this and be like, oh, 300 here, 300 here, and then we'll be good to go. And then, if we go down again, we have blender floor number 1. And I absolutely hate the way this looks back here. I mean, this just looks so convoluted, and there's just no rhyme or reason for it. It's just an absolute mess. So this is number 1. I am going to make sure that I include logistics floors in the next glass onion build. So instead of seeing all these pipes and stuff, the pipes should come down from the ceiling and go directly into the blender. You're not going to have to see all this junk. But overall, the idea did make sense, and the build does work with an asterisk, I guess, because it's not 100% efficient, and I hate that. I hate it. This is the second blender floor. Everybody's going, it's all moving and grooving. Let's actually take a look at our power supply here. So as you can tell, our capacity is just up and down and up and down and up and down. So on the 1.0 Satisfactory build, I will be doing this again. And I will be making this 100% efficient to make sure that everything works exactly as it should be. And I'll already have all my blueprints from this build, so getting, crushing my way through the tiers shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then, of course, I can't be in the Northern Forest this time around for my 1.0 playthrough because, of course, the Northern Forest got a massive hit. So I don't know where I'm going to go. Maybe the Rocky Desert. I've never actually started there. I think that might be fun. And of course, I'm starting fresh with 1.0 because I want the story of the game. That's the whole point of the channel, so definitely want that. And there's a lot of stuff under here. I kind of just threw this together and hoped it would work. Obviously, it doesn't because some of these are more full than others. in these pipes down here that are going up to our generators. So a lot of the generators are at 100, but you can of course tell with this is so disorienting. I'm not going to do these lights again. Definitely will not be doing that because this is terrible. Some of these generators are getting 100%, some aren't, and it's just not great. So that's kind of the tour of the TurboFuel Glass Onion facility. I did want to run back to the main facility real quick because this is going to be my last video on this series for this playthrough. I just want to take a look at, you know, how far we've come, where we've been, where we're going for next time, and how I can potentially do things better. I do love the Structural Solutions mod. I'm super curious what cosmetics they're adding in 1.0. So as far as mods that I don't think I could live without, modular load balancers I think that one is completely and utterly necessary. Especially for some of these more complex builds where I would have to really do a split merge, and just like keep going to the point where the monotony would take me out of it. So who knows? Maybe they will have some type of load balancing splitter or merger in 1.0, which would be fantastic. And if they do, I'm even more excited for 1.0 now. Of course, the quartz silica evil looking mansion build is gonna have to go, and I hate it. This is my most favorite build I have ever done. It's so simple, but it literally looks like an evil layer. Here, let me get up here real quick. Like, it just looks like a giant evil layer. It's all laid out super nice. It's so clean. These two sulfur nodes, or quartz nodes, aren't even here in 1.0. So, yeah, this build, unfortunately, is going to be gone. I could make a mega print out of it, but it doesn't even make sense because we can look at where all the nodes are going to be for 1.0 and try and figure out where they are and try and reconfigure it. I would just have to redo pretty much the whole build anyways. So, unfortunately, that one has to go. The snow globe, the Ficsmas build, where we have our factory cart races here. You can pick your little racer. And then, of course, we got the main bridge coming all the way down to see the big man himself. Santa Claus, of course, would be sitting his big old butt right here on this chair. Then, of course, I turned off this factory, actually. It's like, why am I not flying? Of course, we got our giant tree with our star on top. Let's just start from the back. I'll go to the other side. But we got, of course, all of our ornaments on the outside that look really nice. Our lights. And then each one of these, we're kind of making snow ornaments. We're making all kinds of stuff. So this factory is not only fun, it's functional. All the F's right in a row. And a hard autosave. Then we get into, oh, what is this? Ah, Santa's workshop. Oh, hell yeah. He's got all the stuff in here, man. He's jamming out. Getting into it. I love it. Then we have the candy cane maze that I made that, honestly, I don't really remember how to get through here. I think it's like this. Yeah, and then you're back here. And then you're up here. And then it's like this and this. And, oh, God, it's hard to walk through here. There we go. Hooray! Candy cane maze completed. More manufacturing. We got our Rock'em Sock'em robot ring here. So you go and you pick up your Blade Runners and your Bashers. You just come in here and you can rock them and sock them all day long. Kind of like a cool little wrestling ring. This is definitely one of the most creative builds I've ever done in this game. We got our lizard doggos. What's up, little man? Sand doggo. Thought there were 2 in here. Oh, there's 3 in here. What's up? Space elevator boyo and shy boyo. I think there's food in here for him too. Yeah, a little bit of food for him. All right, and that is the snow globe. Definitely one of my favorite builds. The underside of this build looks terrible, so I'm not going to show you that because it scares me. So whenever I do the snow globe again, it will most likely be the same-ish outline. I really like circles. It just, something about those round edges, you know, gets me going. Anyways. So I think I'll probably do the same-ish type of build for the next one. I do have some ideas for Ficsmas 2024, which should be fun because I'm sure they did some updating with it as well. And then the main hub. All of our storage units, our hub here. Let's just start at the bottom. This is Lizard Doggo Heaven in here. I don't even know where they all are at. Are there even any in here anymore? I do not see any of them. Okay, well, all the lizard doggos have escaped. It's terrifying. They're probably going to extract their revenge right now. Boom. Alright, so floor 1. Little tractor going out. So we got our tractor inputs here. Of course, we have our caterium processing. We have our steel processing. And I do love the way that these builds come together, kind of with like their own cells for each one of these. I have a couple ideas on how to make this cleaner for next time. But the miners here, I mean, the miners look so clean. The only thing I would like to do is basically wall these up on the bottom, so that way you can't see any kind of the logistics. Of course, I do love the glass walls for everything. I think the glass walls with the signs look dope. Got all the goods here, you know. This is a, coming back to Satisfactory after so long and playing it again and getting, like, jazzed up for Ficsmas. I'm excited for 1.0. I really am. I'm gonna have to wait, you know, for all the mods to be ready. The elevator mod, of course. Love the elevator mod. It's so nice. Just a little quality of life. Then we have our first logistics floor, which is a mess. Just a mess. Look at all this. It's disgusting. It's nasty. Next time, also, you never put your products coming in and products going out on the same side. You always put them on opposite sides of the factory. I don't know why I did that. So floor 2. And, of course, this is the starter factory, but it's also making all of our initial space elevator parts. So, monumental to the overarching build that I had going. And boy, does it get laggy in here. Jeez. I really wish I could get an entire new computer before 1.0 because we're gonna struggle. Even though it is crazy optimized. Logistics floor 2.0. Again, just nasty looking logistics floor. These can definitely be cleaned up. It looks okay, but it doesn't look great. Now we got top floor manufacturing. So this is, of course, making our, what are we making here? We're making cable, making modular frames, wire, copper, AI limiters. We had these 2 floors, which literally do nothing, because that was a storage area. And this is just kind of where I was using up the rest of the resources that I had. And then our storage floor, all the way at the very top here. Of course, we got all of our sinks flowing, all the stuff in there. How many tickets do I have, actually? 213 tickets. It's a good amount of tickets. And then let's just take a look at what we unlocked. So everything is completed here besides sulfur because I never ended up getting to nuclear. As far as the milestones go, 6 was just craftable purple slugs. Didn't need to do that. And particle enrichment. Excuse me, sorry. Usually don't talk to people all day long, and now I've been talking for a half hour. So, I never got the particle enrichment in Tier 8. I never actually finished Tier 4 or Phase 4. Which is fine, because I have finished Phase 4 in the past. I got the gold coffee cup and the gold factory cart. So, all in all, I'm super excited for 1.0. I can't stress that enough. And I've loved playing this save for so long. I think I've done some of my most creative work in this save and some of my most organized and efficient work in this save as well. And the TurboFuel Factory, it'll live again. The Glass Onion will live again. The Snow Globe will live again. The Quartz and Sulfur build will live again. Probably a little different, but it will live. And when we come back to 1.0, I'm going to start again from the very beginning. Drop pod off the ship. I cannot wait to see what the story is. I know it's like you can do it or you don't do it, or if you... The reason why I'm starting over is because if you start later in the game, you miss a lot of it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm excited for teleportation, which I assume is going to be in there. Tier 9, which we know is coming. Potential for Tier 10. And of course, Phase 4 and Phase 5 and the space elevator looks a lot different. And of course, I'm so excited to flush the toilet in the hub. First thing I'm going to do after I start the game, build the hub, flush the toilet. I will see you there. Thank you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed the series. If you did, please leave me a like, subscribe. I don't know. Do it if you want to. Don't do it. It's fine. But definitely check out the 1.0 Satisfactory playthrough because I will be probably taking a lot of time off work and enjoying the hell out of it. I can't wait. I hope to see you there. Thanks for coming. Bye.